Hello everyone, welcome back to Dawn and Dreams. It is your lady Ms.Z. Thank you so much for tuning into another video. If you would, please make sure that you like and subscribe and comment down below if this video resonates with you. Okay, so we are finally here. It is 2021 if you're watching this, or maybe a little bit before. We have survived 2020 and now we're here for the New Year's reading. Okay, and I did this last year, so you are definitely welcome to check out last year's video if you want to kind of reflect on the previous year and moving forward into this year, because the reading was very accurate. So we're going to do this again for this year, as far as asking the ancestors what to expect, what can we look forward to, overall energy, financial, relationships, and spirituality as well. Now, one thing I will say is that this year I'm going to try to kind of give a timestamp, which I would like for you to look at the whole video first, and then like as throughout the year, you may go back and want to, revisit this reading. I should have some timestamps so that you can actually look and see, like, do you want to look at finances for the year? Do you want to look at relationships for the year? So I plan to do that, but don't quote me to it because I'm always busy. All right, and I'm not going to too much go into announcements on this video because I want to get right into it. But if you want to book a reading, that information will be below, and all my other information as well. Also, I don't know if I'll have any more Spirits of the North Oracle decks left, but there is a few left at this time. If you're still interested in that, that is an Oracle deck for the ancestors made by me, so you can get that as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I already said my prayers, I already did my singing, and I know probably some of you are like, well, you need to do it on camera, but it's been a rough couple of weeks, so I decided to do it off camera. And for a fair warning, I am going to be shuffling bones probably throughout this video, so, turn your volume down. Nobody said, let's give us a warning, when you're shuffling the bones, but in the title it says bone reading, so you got to expect that. All right. And because this reading is going to be in parts, I'm going to start off with basically, for lack of a better word, a bird reading. This is divination just pretty much given by the mothers before we get into the bones. And I wanted to do this first before, getting into the actual reading, because nature reads, for itself anyway. But anywho, let's go ahead and get into those messages. And I have them written down because I wanted to make sure I remembered it. So I've seen a few signs that are going to be attributed to 2021. So the first sign was a crow on top of the post office. And these are actual things that I've actually seen. So it's not just some stuff I'm making up. This is actually me going outside and experiencing nature. And this is what happened. So a crow on top of the post office, just one big crow. It was very big. And for me, and let me give this disclaimer too. Don't expect the message to be straight out right when it's given. Like, give it time for the message to actually make sense, especially when it comes to omens. But anyway, so the crow is on top of the post office, and the first thing is messages, okay? Because what are you doing at a post office? You are, either sending mail or receiving mail. So that is one thing that is going to be important this year, is paying attention to the messages that you are going to be receiving. Another thing is, I seen two crows. They were together at first, and then they separated. But one thing I also noticed was that they were coming from the left going to the right. So one thing about that is, I know with 2020 we've experienced a lot of I'm trying to use the right word, because I don't even want to say that it was just a terrible year, because I think that's just the way that it's painted. But a lot of things came to realization. A lot of things came to the forefront as far as us realizing where we are now and where we are going, if we are really stable in our lives. So it was a lot of learning, a lot of lessons in 2020. So coming from left to the right, I think things that were going left, meaning going so-called bad or not going as good as we wanted them to go, are going to start going right. And it's going to be, in part due to you having a good partner by your side, or even good relationships as well. Things are going to be going right. All right. A lot of things are going to be going in the right direction, and you're definitely going to have support, whether it's through a partner, spirit guide, whatever. It can actually be attributed in many different ways. But yes, things that were going this way are going to go good, especially coming into this year. Now, coming towards maybe like, I don't know if it's going to be 5 to 6 months in, but towards the middle of the year, things are going to split off. I don't see this as being bad. I see this as coming to terms with certain things. So this is going to deal with, it's not just going to deal with relationships. So don't automatically think you're going to be breaking up with your partner. But it is going to be certain things that you may feel like, okay, this is not for me anymore, or, it's best that we go our separate ways. You could be parting ways with a job. You could be parting ways with certain people that you were used to dealing with. You may be parting ways with people that, have helped you on your journey to a certain point, but you realize you're going in two different directions. I didn't see any bad blood. It was just more like an understanding, like you got me to this point, but now I'm going to let you go off on your own. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of basically, I still don't see it as bad. I see it as, like I said, realization of where you are on your path, and you may be going in a different direction towards the middle of the year. People that you might have worked with at a certain point in your life are still not, it's like you may not be in quite alignment with that at that time. That's probably going to be later into the year, but as you go into this year, the people that you're with should stick with you up until that point. Another thing was the turtle dove. So the dove, one of the messages about that is, one, there's going to be some realizations on the fact that things, basically what you perceive things to be, you may not get an answer until 2021. Like, you're going to get an answer as to what it actually is. So a lot of people are going to be showing their true colors and who they actually are. But this is not going to be a bad thing either. Okay, all of these things sound bad, but it's not really bad. It's more like, I may have perceived you to be a person that was against me this whole time. And then in 2021, you realize, okay, no, this person was actually for me. This person was actually there to support me. People are going to be coming out of the woodworks, especially spirit guides, spiritual energies, ancestors, even in the spiritual realm. Things that you thought were actually negatively impacting you are going to be like helpful to you. You're going to be like, wow, I didn't know that situation, was put there, and I thought it was all bad, but actually it's something good. It's something beneficial to me. But you're going to be able to identify these people in this coming year. So a lot of things dealing with relationships this year. There's going to be a lot of truth. And we're coming into the year of 5, which represents conflict and change. And don't think that conflict is just a bad thing. Conflict will really only come if there is no change. So now we're going to get into the actual bone reading to get the overall energy. But I wanted to get that out first because, again, these messages may not make sense right now as far as that goes, but it will as the year progresses. So let's go ahead and cast the bones. Give me just a minute to channel, and then we're going to go ahead and notes. Like, I thought I was going to be putting down more than that. All right, give me just a moment to review, and then we're going to jump into it. Let me make sure the camera is good. Yeah. Trial and error is going to be very important because, I mean, there's going to be some things that you may attempt to do, but that doesn't mean you should give up on it just because it isn't what you want it to be at the start of it. A lot of things are going to be coming into completion. Things that you can't see. So this is something that's going to be very, very interesting because your intuition, or what you feel like is your intuition, let me say that, because your emotions can override your intuition. This means that you could feel like, yeah, in the end, everything's going to go great. But then all of those emotions of doubt, fear, all of those things can cloud your intuition. So they're saying that a lot of things are going to come into completions of cycles. Maybe projects getting completed, maybe you going places that you wanted to go. A lot of things that you set out for yourself at the beginning of the year, it may start to become cloudy, but you're still going to reach that goal. I'm seeing a lot of support from the ancestral realm. A lot of healing and a lot of protection. So the ancestors are going to be pushing you towards getting certain healing done that you might have needed. This could be past healing, could be abuse, could be bullying, could be, things from the past that kind of have been unresolved. Okay, so do not be surprised if you're going to be drawn to getting certain healings done, or if you are guided to certain teachers and things like that that are going to basically target things that you've been through to give you better character. And E5 would be Iwapili. So it's your character, working on yourself. But I'm saying the ancestors really pushing for that, like healing and development, but they are also going to protect you. Yeah, they're going to be very connected. This is a really good. Yeah, protecting you from a lot of things that you can't see. So this is going to be a great year for really living yourself out loud. If you stick to your path, if you stay focused, like, you are going to shine, okay? Because I'm seeing a lot of that. Like, there's going to be a lot of prosperity for just being who you are. Do not try to pretend to be somebody else. Don't try to fit in. Really identify who you are, because that's going to be your greatest prosperity. If you are in school, if you're starting certain programs, stick to it. Stick to whatever it is that you're doing, because this year the arrow is really pointing at you. Like, it's really pointing at you being yourself, and not feeling like you have to blend in, not feeling like you have to do what everybody's doing. No, you don't have to choose the same profession as somebody else, whether it be healing, whether it be a builder, whatever you want to do. It's really going to be based around you. You have to stay true to yourself. Do not try to go off and be somebody else, or try to put somebody else's mask on. Does that make sense? Or even put a mask on yourself. Like, that's not really going to benefit you this year. If you are not being your true self, you're not going to find the prosperity, because the prosperity is going to be in really, if you know who you are. Like I'm telling you, it's going to really be in knowing who you are, because I see the fish underneath that, and that's like lots of abundance, lots of prosperity. You're really going to have to take off the shadows. Own up to who you are. They're saying that hard work is going to pay off. Hard work is going to pay off, because I see that hard shell right there, like, oh, I've been through so much and I haven't gotten anywhere. That's not going to happen this year. You might feel like that at the beginning of the year, but there, like I said, there's a lot of prosperity in just being unique this year. Sticking to the path. And I know it may sound general, but I'm telling you that's what it is. Okay, so the negative snake, like I like to call it, the negative energy surrounds transition, okay? And I guess that's the theme of the year, is change anyway. But yes, the negative energy is really going to surround change and adaptability. So how well you can adapt. If you can't adapt to a new situation, the energy is going to target you. Does that make sense? So it's like, if you can't deal with this situation, then the negative energy is going to seek you out. So there are going to be people that are going to try to put you in, or like corner you into a situation, back you into a wall. So if you can't adapt to it, it's kind of like it's going to affect you more. Like if you refuse to go with the change, it's really going to affect you. And I'm trying to think of an example of how that would apply. The first thing come to my mind is a relationship, okay? And this doesn't have to apply just to a relationship, but this is the first example that I get. It's kind of like if you are with a person and the person becomes abusive, you know, and you know that you were supposed to leave this person a long time ago, but you keep giving it second chances, right? And it'll be better for you to transition and go ahead and adapt to a new life, but you're scared to adapt to that new life. And because you're unable to adapt to change, it's like that energy just keeps getting worse. So when you don't want to start over, the energy that's already been bad since 2020, it's going to continue to get worse, okay? So you have to be able to adapt. But right after you adapt to a change, there's prosperity. Like there is prosperity leading like right on the other side. Ground yourself to see the bigger picture, not just what you feel in the moment. Because in the moment, you could feel like, this is going to change, and, you know, it's not as bad as it seems, you know. And like I said, another example would be a job, but I don't want just everybody just leaving their jobs, you know, when you need it. But those are just examples. If you've been in a place, stagnant in a place, and it's like it's just already been bad, you've already been having issues, well, you know, it's almost going to corner you to the point that you're going to feel like, okay, I might have been better off just transitioning to something else. Just starting over. Starting over is always hard, but that is something that you're going to have to get used to doing, because through transition, through change, it's not that you're completely starting over, you're actually growing. You've learned your lesson with that, so move on. Because believe me, distractions are going to always be around the corner when there is prosperity. So depending on where you have your focus this year, it's going to be very important. How well you're able to adapt is going to be very important. So let's say somebody fires you. That's the worst case scenario, right? Somebody just fires you from the job and you can't adapt. That means that, you know, of course, you're going to be unstable. You might have trouble finding a place to stay. All of the negative energy, because negative energy is not just a person. It can also be negative energy in itself, because it is a spirit, and that's its job, to be negative. So it's going to find many different ways to target you once it gets you in a position where you're unhappy. So you have to be able to adapt very quickly and get back on your grind. So whatever hits you this year, do not let it consume you. Jump right back into, okay, this is just a better opportunity for me to focus on myself, and that's what I'm going to do. Because I honestly see this is going to be a very, very good. And I'm not saying that everybody needs to make a YouTube channel, because that might not be the path for everybody. But when I'm talking about prosperity and self, that is one of the examples. Like having a YouTube, coming out about who you are, just being true to who you are. You don't have to have any secrets. You can just be all out on the line this year. And people are going to be like, dang, I can relate to that. Like, I want to, spend money with you. That's how it's going to be. Who you are is going to build prosperity. So really get to know yourself. Then a couple things here. A lot of people aren't seeing the value. They're saying a lot of people aren't seeing the value in connections and also travel. It goes hand in hand. Connections and travel go hand in hand. So people are gonna, see less value in traveling, but at the same time, it's not to, even with, all the stuff going on, it's not to completely discourage you from getting to where you want to be in life. Okay. Don't let the media and everything else just target your energy to where you just don't want to do anything. Because Spirit is saying that you're going to have to make, this isn't a feather of sacrifice. This means you're going to have to give up something in order to receive something. So if you're very shy, you're going to have to give up shyness in order to receive connections. You're going to have to really go out of your way this year to keep connections. Because like I said, even towards the middle of the year, I still see things breaking off. But at the same time, you should still be looking for connections. Connections are going to connect you to different things. You may even get connected to your soulmate. You never know. But so connections surround everything. There's prosperity even in connections, because you learn different things from different cultures and different places, different jobs, opportunities. So I'm saying that there may be some things with not just travel, but let me just say travel for lack of a better word, or explaining. There's going to be, like, a lot of people are not going to see the value in trying to travel or even connect. So if you really want that, there's going to be an element of giving up something in order to receive something. So maybe you have to give up your comfortability to go ahead and do what you want to do this year. Wow. I'm seeing a lot of people sacrificing things, for rebirth. Give up this life in order to obtain a better life. But we already kind of discussed that, but that's still even over here in the symbolism. And they're saying there's a lot of maturity that's going to have to come this year, because we are in the spirit of the grandfather energy, like, maturity, very wise, wisdom. Yeah, I even see the spirit of strength. So this means that there are going to be ancestors that's going to help us to overcome a lot of things that we're going through. That support is going to be there. So when you feel like you've lost everything, there is an ancestor right there to kind of help you get over the emotional state that you're in and come to transitioning. doubts and fears, our personal doubts and fears just surround our gut feeling, so that's pretty good. It's not really interfering that much, but it really just is probably going to affect our gut feeling. So make sure that you are paying attention to your gut and not letting your doubts and fears surround that. But I see a lot of prosperity this year. That's really good. That means a lot of people may be having babies. A lot of people are going to be finding new ways to elevate themselves. But like I said, the main prosperity you're going to have is just being yourself. A lot of you are going to need breaks this year. Breaks. Because this is in the feather of change. Now, there is outside forces that are going to work you, meaning, because it's surrounding, it's not too up on you, so that basically means that it may not even be to a point that you can notice it, but there may be people that try to consume your time, or constantly maybe asking you for things, constantly getting on your nerves, stressing you out. Like, those type of things are going to be almost like, is this person really, against me, or are they with me because they're stressing me out, that type of thing. So, they're saying that this year, please make sure that you exercise taking a break and self-love, because this is in the feather of change. So they're saying this year there wasn't enough of that. So I'm sorry, this year is in 2020. 2021, you need to exercise having a day off for yourself. Not just really a day off. Everybody, honestly, a job gives you 2 days off, but really you need more than that. Otherwise, you will wear yourself out. I'm seeing a lot of spiritual signs this year. That's really good. Okay. What is this about? Okay, well, that tells you what it's about. All right. So, they say a lot of you are too stuck within your own principles of what you will and won't do. That's got to change as well. I'm not sure what all this is going to pertain to, but it is something that they're saying, like, hey, you can't be stuck on what you believe in or what you perceive. A lot of things are going to be eye-opening for you, and it's going to be a surprise. It's not even going to be like in your face truth. It's going to be truth that is revealed. Just like with the dove, truth that is revealed. But you too stuck on how you want to do it, and I like to do it this way, and can't nobody tell me nothing. That type of attitude will have you really realizing who's helping you and who's surrounding you. The one thing that you're going to have patience with is rebirth. Things coming into your life. Like, if you want something new, you're going to have to be patient for it. You're really going to have to be patient. Like, don't rush something because it's affected by change. So once the change comes in, something new will come into your life, but you have to be patient for it to, open up. Because the eggshell is near patience. So that means that it's going to take time for things to come in, for things to be born. But it's coming. They're also saying taking time with wisdom. So a lot of things, like last year, I feel like 2020 was about like fast, rush learning and stuff like that. This year, things are going to be slowed down, I guess, so that you can understand and retain information better. Because they're also saying that wisdom is going to help you find your path. Certain information that you learn is going to either strengthen your path or pull you more away from it. So you're going to have to be careful and really retain knowledge. So let's say you find out something that you don't like about a tradition that you're already in. Don't rush and just leave it. Really take time to understand the wisdom. Because the things that people find out is going to dictate their path. That's like the same thing with when everybody got into spirituality at first. It's like the wisdom, you're like, I'm glad to know it, but it's almost scary because I've been believing in this for so long. That is still going to happen in 2021. So it's going to be like a revisit of that. So be slow with information. Don't try to rush anything. I see a lots of magic and manifestation because there's an ancestor saying that they will be working with us on manifestation, using our magic to get the things that we want in life. They're saying be patient with independence. I'm seeing a lot of people that are going to want to fight for things, like stand up for a cause. Like, this ain't right. Like, I got to get out of this situation. Or you may find yourself being more aggressive about some of the things that you do not like. And it's going to push you towards an independence, but they're even saying be patient with that. Make sure that you have everything in alignment before you hit that independence. Because like I said, even in this year, there's going to be things that you start out with, and then like towards the end of it, it's like, okay, well, I'm going a different direction. But I'm guessing they're just wanting you to be very stable and don't be very headstrong about certain things, just rushing into things. Like I said, wait for the answer. Don't assume anything this year. Wait for the answer. Because the things that you assume is going to be like, oh, so you were helping me all along. Like that type of thing. I can't stress that enough. Yeah, they're saying your investment should be in patience. Structure is going to be important when it comes to finances. Major events are going to surround sacrifice. That means things that we have to give up in order to receive. So that's just a major element. I don't really see issues with health this year, at least not too much. I mean, I think that there's going to be things that come up to be very confusing, meaning you may assume that it's a big issue when it's really something that can probably be taken care of, or if you look into it a little bit more, you can find a solution for it. Does that make sense? Now, I don't get into health too much because I don't like to, but just overall as an energy, because like last year's reading, I actually said that we were going to have to watch our health. This year, actually, it doesn't seem to be an issue. Okay, I'm gonna fix the camera. This year is not going to be that much of an issue with health, but the thing about it is it's more so going to be confusion. Like you may have to be patient with your health. Like say for instance, you've had a problem for 6 months or maybe even a year, you've had this problem. Well, in 2021, you decide, okay, well, I'm going to find a resolution. I'm going to try to solve this issue. And it's not just a one and done. Maybe you have to take a certain prescription or something like that to where it takes a minute. Even if it's natural, if you're taking something natural and it's taking a little bit of a while for it to progressively remove itself, don't get confused and think that it's never going to work out. Like they're showing that, you know, it's going to work out. Just be patient. Not only they're saying be patient with your health, but also don't let things get confusing. So another thing is don't be afraid to get a second opinion. Okay. So if you go to a person and you feel like I said, we're going to have issues with gut feeling, trusting our gut. So if you feel like, they're not telling me everything that I need to know, go to somebody else and get a second opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. Even if you say, this ain't for me, I'm going to try to do something that's a little bit more in alignment with where I am right now. That's fine too. That don't mean hurt yourself or do anything you're not supposed to do. It just means that it's okay to reevaluate things, because as far as health goes, they're going to be putting out some confusing information, maybe making things sound worse than what they actually are, or, you know, nothing's going to be solved unless you do this, this, and this. And that's not really the case, because it's not showing me that it's going to be a major issue this year. As long as you have patience, as long as you are consistent, you know, you're going to be fine. You'll find a solution to what you're looking for. Because major events is actually within health and sacrifice. So again, there may be something big that still comes up about it. But again, don't look at the issue and just freak out. Come to your senses, get an opinion, and if it's not what you feel in your gut, get a second opinion. Okay? Because I feel like things are gonna go actually pretty smoothly with that. You just have to be calm, because it's not nothing that's really alarming right now. But I am gonna get a second opinion with the cards, with the spirits of the north, just to clarify, because it still may come out. But as far as the overall bone reading, I don't think it's gonna be like pressing. Okay. And that's actually a good sign, because I see a lot of fertility, lots of fertility. So that means that there's going to be a lot of new, even though it may seem like, oh, jobs are not in right now, it may even be you inventing a job for yourself, but there's going to be a lot of prosperity going around, even if you can't see it. Even if you may be confused about where you want to get the prosperity, it's prosperity going around. They may not tell you that, but it is. Again, lots of self-love, lots of babies. What else do we see? Really valuing self, keeping inspiration. All right, so now I'm ready to go ahead and move on a little bit. That's good. It's going to be like it's going to be really balanced. You're still going to be more in a feminine year, meaning lots of prosperity, lots of good things coming. But there's going to be some things that you may be aggressive about, but it's really just based off maturity. Because I keep getting that thing like, you know, got to become a man, like that phase of maturity where you go from boy to man. But I know that it's for everybody though, so I don't know how to say that, because it's like masculine and feminine thing. But that's the example that I get, like a lot of people growing to a maturity. So now we're going to drop some cards on some things here. First off, let me cover the mundane stuff first, the non-spiritual. Let's cover that first. Let's go ahead and go into like what's the advice for relationships this year for 2021, and then we'll go ahead and get the overall theme and advice before we close out this session. Like, honesty is the best policy this year. Be true to yourself and your emotions. All right, let's see. Okay, and we can do maybe 2 more cards, maybe. We'll take all that, but okay. All right. So the first thing that we see, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it does say self-love. Self-love. Discovering your life purpose. Okay. So that was right on top of self-love. So those go together, okay? As you discover who you are, the person that you need to be with is going to be right by your side doing exactly what they need to do. A lot of you are going to find love with the person that is doing some of the same things that you're doing or is in alignment with what you're doing. Like maybe you both do music, but maybe one of you is a singer, one of you is a musician. But it's like you're making music together. So focus on your life path, okay? Make that the priority, and everything else as far as relationships is going to follow. But this doesn't just deal with, intimacy. It does deal with that too, but it also deals with relationships of like friendships and people that you're going to include in your personal space. Like you follow your path, the people are going to come. Because I'm saying this as, I don't know if you can see that, that it's like a little spirit right there. Like they're sending this person to you based off of the same interests. But again, self-love is priority. That's the first thing that came out. So that's something that you should focus on beyond anything this year. Because like I said, I even see you getting wore out by what other people may be asking you or asking of you. Okay, we got sexual arts. So that was kind of sideways. So I'm not going to get into that too much, but I'm going to say that that's going to be something important too. Bonding on a level of intimacy. Like a lot of people haven't gotten to a certain point in their life where they can be intimate with themselves and also where they can be intimate with others. So this is something that you want to work on this year. Having not just intimacy, but let's just put it this way, not just having a shebang, actually having a complete bond that is going to lift you up higher, okay? Okay, so this was in the reverse. It says, say what you mean. And I just said that, being true to yourself, no lies. Honest and truthful. So some of you are still going to even avoid this going into this new year. Like you are not going to be honest about how you feel about everything. So there's going to be some very intimate conversations this year with your partner and even the people that you love. Could be mother, father, family, whoever. There may be some things that you wanted to say and you haven't said them and you have been avoiding saying them. But hey, this year you're going to have to say what you mean. There's no getting around that. So start out being honest with people about who you are, your intentions, so it can't be perceived a certain way, because I still see it coming back up, to slap you in the face like, so what did you really mean by that, even if you try to avoid it this year. You don't have to be mean, but you can tell a person exactly how you feel. If something's bothering you, if, what the person said didn't feel good to you, whether it is your partner or somebody else, just briefly say, respectfully, I didn't really like how you came in, right? All right, let's get into some themes this year, and then I'm going to I'll do the ancestor messages and warnings last, okay? Make sure it's good. we're really talking about ancestral wisdom. So there's going to be a lot of protection, ancestral wisdom, manifestation is one of the themes this year, and accomplishment, achieving your goals. I'm seeing a lot of rituals being done this year, actually, for prosperity, for the things that you want, getting in touch with your ritualistic side, okay? Things are going to be really helped and manifested by ritual, whether it is a dance ritual, or again, what ritual really means is being consistent with something that you're doing spiritually. There will be, every year is a year to pay homage to the ancestors, but this is going to be really helpful in understanding what's going on around you, because they are going to be protecting you. So make sure that you're properly venerating your ancestral spirits. If you were doing it 10%, you want to bump it up to a 20%. I said that wrong. Maybe it needs to be 100% and then 110%. But you get the message. All right, so you have adversity. And this is funny because we're in the year of 5. It says, I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. So the universe is saying, I feel like this is the best way for you to learn. So let me present a challenge to you. Okay, but go with the flow. Don't be, disrupted by the challenge. Accomplish that goal. When you're a kid and you are competing, it's fun. It's fun to compete. Even if you lose some days and you win some days, you still get back up and continue forward. So do it like you're playing a sport. When you get as an adult and you get defeated, you just down and out. Like you're depressed, you don't want to do nothing, right? But when you're a kid and you're just playing football or volleyball or anything like that, I was a volleyball player, but anything like that, it wasn't like so sad for us to lose. Like, okay, we'll work harder and we'll keep moving forward. So don't look at this year as being so serious to the point that you just get defeated. Take the challenge, accept the challenge, learn the lesson, and move forward. Patience is what we talked about. I accept that everything happens in divine order. So it's not going to happen when you want it to happen, all right? It's going to happen when it's put in place. So have patience. It's all going to happen. You get this year's theme is accomplishment. So it's all going to happen. But having that patience makes it all worthwhile because you get to experience what you're going through. Don't rush through things. Don't fast food yourself with everything. Everything happens in divine order. The last thing we have is I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good, relationships. So this is another theme. So we got adversity, we got patience, and we have relationships. And that's what the birds were talking about. Like, I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. So this means that, again, even some people that have gotten you to a certain point are going to cut off because, again, you need to go in the direction that is for your best good. It's not bad blood just because I'm in a different direction. That's just like a job. Sometimes it's not even the job. It's just you need to get paid more. You need to understand your worth. Right? So when you depart this job, you're like, it wasn't necessarily that it was bad, it just wasn't paying me enough. So in relationships, it's kind of almost the same way. If you're not getting anything out of this relationship, then okay, I need to go and be somewhere where I can continuously grow. And sometimes the relationships are toxic. So, that's that. But not all things have to be left, bitter and, unwanted. It's just, I need something that's going to help me progress. So you should think about that this year. So this theme this year is also going to be relationships. So let's go ahead and get the ancestral messages and warnings, and then we're going to close out this reading. say that's taking forever. Patience, right? Okay. Last but not least. Keep checking the camera, make sure we're on. All right. So we got a couple things here. Okay. So the first thing I see is don't miss this opportunity. It's your time. No more procrastination. So that's kind of verbatim, like, don't miss this opportunity. If you have opportunity put in front of you, don't miss it. It's your time. It's your time to achieve these goals. No more procrastination. Don't keep making excuses as to why you can't get something done. Get it done. And like I said, this is the best year for personal progression. Next thing that we got is pay attention to your health. Stop stressing yourself out and take care of yourself. So with this one, you know, normally I would say, okay, watch your health. But I think that the main thing when it comes to health is your stress level. If you are completely stressed out, it's going to affect you. Your health is going to be affected in ways. Maybe you have it, you know, I hope not, having anxiety attacks, things like that. So you want to make sure that you reevaluate your situation. Is this what's going to benefit me and my health wise? Because certain jobs and things that you may be involved in can be detrimental to your health. Certain relationships can be detrimental to your health. We're not just talking about physical, it's mental. First it starts spiritual, then it starts affecting you within your body, like with headaches and stuff. And that's like the warning signs of, hey, whatever situation you're putting me in is stressing me out. So you want to pay attention to the body, especially when it comes to stress. Stress is probably going to be the leading thing when it comes to if you're having health issues. But again, I don't want to give health advice. I'm just putting that out there. All right. So stop stressing yourself out and take care of yourself. This year's theme is about self-love. So you want to find ways to do that, whether it's going to the massage parlor, whatever you want to do. So you have remember us. Remember the sacrifice we've made. The ancestors have paved the way for you. So this year is going to be really about being grateful of how the ancestors are moving things out of the way. They're doing plenty of things on the other side. That's why ancestor veneration is going to be very important this year, to show them how much you appreciate, how much you're grateful of even things that they've done in the past while they were living here. Be grateful for the opportunities that you have. Don't always try to keep pushing for this, and that. Just be grateful for what's already there. What's already coming to you. Get in sync with your ancestral days. Have a day. It doesn't have to just be birthdays. Birthdays is important, and the day they ascended is important, but I see this as, I don't always just see it as birthdays. I see it as like finding a day within the week or maybe even within the month that you celebrate either all birthdays for the ancestors that month, or you just have a special day on to the side that you do a celebration for them. The ancestors want you to keep up with important days in the spiritual realm. This year is really about being grateful for their wisdom. Okay. So one thing that's going to kind of be swept under your feet is foundation. So you want to make sure that you are focused on a stable foundation, being secure. Don't involve yourself in situations that aren't secure. because it's probably not going to last. 2020 was definitely about foundation, but 2021 is still creeping up on foundation and being secure and stable. Making sure that the decisions that you're making is going to put you in a better situation. Uh-oh. They're also saying you don't need to stress out over things that aren't big issues. Again, don't overreact over things that may be small. I'm seeing you getting repeated signs, but I think also this year is going to be a lot of patience when it comes to, if you receive a sign, have patience to really figure out what it means, because the answers to your questions might be very simple. So when you're coming to spirit, make sure that you come in a way that you're trying to understand things, not just help me get out of this situation. You know, I'm begging, I'm pleading. Try to have, you know, patience and control and modesty, because like I said, some things can just be very small to them in the spiritual realm. Like, okay, this is just a phase, you can get it fixed. The car broke down, so what? You know, I'm going to give you the money in a couple of weeks maybe to get that fixed. Like, don't overreact, because it's going to be resolved quicker than you think if you just be patient and calm. Focus on the things that may take a lot, you know, may take some ancestral energy to help with the situation. Don't overreact over small things. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people dealing with their inner child, things that they have suffered from in the past. A lot of you are going to be employed to even help these people that have dealt with certain situations in the past, whether it was childhood or not. But I'm seeing a sense of maturity as well. All right, so last thing that we got is sacrifice. Yeah, that's an important theme all around, but you also need to give offerings. Keep up with your offerings this year. I see a lot of charging into things. Like I said, this is like the year of the grandpa or something. Like it's very like, and I'm not even gonna say this is immature, but let's just say that for right now, immature to maturity. Like everything is coming to a mature state in this round. Because you may have a lot of fiery energy to fight for what you want, to go get it. You know, do it with modesty. Like I said, sometimes it's going to be important for you to do it like that, but in other senses, you may have to have patience. But this is also a symbol that there's going to be warrior spirits on the other side that are going to help us to keep pushing forward when we are depressed. So when you are down, there's going to be certain ancestors that come forth that really help with that. All right, last but not least, we have, I might see the living, the dead, the past, present, and future. Pay attention to your visions, dreams, and spirit encounters. So that's just verbatim. Pay attention to your dreams, your vision, and your spirit encounters. There will be a lot of them this year. All right, guys, so that is the New Year reading. Wow, it took a lot out of me. All right, I hope that you guys enjoyed it and retained it and rewatch it. Peace out.